Okay guys, good afternoon. Ah, babalikan ko muli yung aking buhay ah, for the past 15 years bilang isang guro ng aral at panlipunan. At the same time, nagturo din ako ng basic principles of economics sa secondary high school. Um, Maliban doon, uma-attend ako ng mga seminars about basic financial planning because aside bilang as a teachers in Araling Panlipunan and economics, I work as a financial consultant or financial advisors is in one of the giant company in here in the Philippines. And in my later part of my work as a financial advisor, naging financial coach din ako sa mga aking mga tao. Ah, at humbling to say, marami na rin silang naging successful at natutunan dahil sa aking pagbibigay ng mga ideas sa aking pagpupunyagi kung paano ko i-share yung mga kaalaman na nababasa ko sa libro at baliban doon sa practical na pamamaraan. So guys, simulan natin. Sana mapapanood ito ng aking dating mga estudyante sa high school na kung saan very successful na rin sila sa ngayon sa iba-ibang bahagi ng daigdig. Sila yung mga OFW na rin. May mga pamilya na rin sila, nakita ko ngayon. Pero mas maganda ka pa rin kung tayo yung nag-aral pa rin ng mga basic financial planning. Lalo ngayon sa panahon ng pandemic o sa panahon ng crisis, paano natin may papalago ang ating konting pinaghirapan, yung hard-earned money natin. Napakarami kong libro dito ngayon. Itong mga libro ko ngayon, isa dito ay ang kay Rene Resurrection. Ang title ay The Power to Create Righteous Wealth. Yan. Ang ganda ng title, The Power to Create Righteous Wealth. Kasi marami tayong nagkakreate tayo ng kayamanan, pero minsan hindi natin nakukuha sa tamang pamaraan. Okay? Mayroon din akong libro about kay Chinkitan. Yan. The Debt Do Us Part. Practical Steps to Financial Freedom. Yan. Yan ang kanyang kay Chinkitan. Okay? At meron din ako may books din ako dito na $1 Million Habits. Yan. Okay. Pero yung pinaka-popular during the time of starting of the 20s, yung kay libro ni Francisco Colaico. Yan. Kay Francisco Colaico. Ang title, The Wealth Within Your Reach. Pira mo, talaguin mo. Yan. Dito sa libro na ito, nalalaman dito yung mga karanasan ng mga personalidad na nagsimula sa talagang start from nothing, from zero. Then eventually naging millionaire, bumagsak, at nakahaon muli. Simulan natin sa chapter 1 ni Francisco Colaico. Okay? So, simulan na tayo sa chapter 1. Sa chapter 1 mo tayo magsisimula. Okay. Ang chapter 1, ang title, A Success Story That Became a Sad Story. Yan guys. Okay. So, yung mga estudyante ko sa Parañaque Municipal High School at saka yung mga ibang nagsisimula pa lang magtrabaho sa financials, lalo na yung mga financial advisor, alam ko na pag nakasurvive kayo, napakalaki ng kikitain nyo. Pero kailangan marunong tayo mag-handle ng ating kinikita. Okay? So sinasabi dito, success, failure, success again, this can be your story too. This is a very true story, very true story. At the age of 32, PG became a very successful marketer since he was a very driven and hardworking man. PG was born in an impoverished town in Davao, meaning napakahirap na lugar at maaring yung kultura napaka inequality, no? Hindi pantay-pantay ang buhay ng tao. Because his family was very poor, he learned to fend for himself at an early age. By the time he was 8 years old, he was already working. He did all sorts of odd jobs, from tending pigs and chickens to becoming a laborer at a mining firm. But despite all the hardship he went through, he never stopped believing that one day he would succeed in life and would be able to rescue his family from poverty. This dream kept him from giving up. At age 18, after finishing high school, he decided to try his luck in Manila, using money he won from singing contests. He went to Manila with nothing but his burning desire to make it big someday. He promised himself that he would not set foot in his hometown again unless he was a millionaire. Guys, yung storya na ito napakaraming common ito na nangyayari talaga sa mga kabataan na galing sa probinsya na kaunting lang ang sinimula na halaga, pero sinikap nilang pumunta na Maynila at promise nila sa sarili nila na hindi sila babalik sa pinanggalingan nilang bayan pag wala silang dalang diploma o hindi sila sa maging umasenso. Okay? So to continue our conversation, in Manila, he worked as a helper at a small restaurant, as an opener and a bagger at the post office, as a messenger, as a security guard, and even a taxi driver. He took on 2 or 3 different jobs at the same time so he could start saving it for his college education. At one point in time, he decided to sell small items to augment his income. Yung storya na ito ay hindi kakaiba sa ibang mga nakilala ko na nagmula sa probinsya. Ang perang dala-dala niya ay kakonti, nag-working student siya, lahat ng mga trabaho niya, lahat ng mga pinasokang trabaho, ang dami niyang pinasokang trabaho sa Manila para mag-working student. So, para lang makapagtustos sa kanyang pag-aral ng kanyang edukasyon. Once he started selling, he realized that he had a special gift. He found it easy to convince people to buy his wares. Around the time, the multi-level concept of marketing was starting to become popular. He figured it was just a type of business he was waiting for. He knew he would succeed. And to succeed, he did. He worked for several multi-level marketing firms. He finally hit a big. However, when in February 2001, he joined a pioneering marketing group distributing financials and printed plans. He was able to earn over 15 million pesos in just 18 months. Mga guys, totoo talaga yan. Nung mga year of 20s, talagang marami akong nakilala, no? Na in 1 year lang talaga kumita sila talaga ng millions. His dream apparently had finally come true. So ang kanyang mga pangarap mula dun sa Karokhaan, mula sa probinsya, natupad niya. Mula sa Karokhaan, si PG ay naging multimillionaire. Success did not last long. Biglang yaman na nawala. Imagine, narating niya na yung naging millionaire siya, pero biglang nawala ang yaman niya. Bakit ganon? No? Bakit ganon? May mga taong ganon. Sadly, financial success is not the end of PG's story. In less than 2 years, he ended up losing most of the money he had earned. Sa loob ng 2 taon, nawala lahat ang 15 million niya. Ano kaya ang nangyari dito? Emboldened by his instant wealth, PG began to indulge in unnecessary luxuries. As a brand new Pajero was his first purchase. Next came the extensive remodeling of his family rented apartment, expensive furniture, 2 or more vehicles, millions invested in pyramiding scam, movie production that was never completed, and big loans to friends for projects that were not viable. Totoo talaga yon. Actually, in the year of 20s, may mga na-encounter ako, may mga nakakausap ako na uh, kino-convince ko na mag-invest sa bumili ng life insurance at saka investment sa company. But, hindi talaga sila nag-i-invest. Mas priority nila bumili ng mga high-quality cars, nagkaroon ng magbabago ng buhay. At nakita ko, pagkatapos ng ilang taon, nawala lahat ang millions na kinikita nila. Kasi parang something na nagulat sila sa laki ng kinikita nila. Medyo malawak ang usapin ito kasi maaring wala silang financial coach o kaya yung environment sa paligid nila, parang sinasabi doon na hindi na ito mawala. Ito'y wala nang katapusan yung kasaganaan na pagdating sa buhay natin. He spent a lot of money on the things that were unnecessary and did not bring in any income at all. But the worst part is that they could not spend that money for assets that they needed. He needed a house, yet he prepared to spend for improving a house he did not own. For just a little more, he could have acquired his own house and lot. So imagine, nag-rent siya ng apartment, tapos pinaganda niya, ang gaganda ng mga furnitures, luxury car. Okay lang sana kung bumili siya nag-spend siya ng thousands or millions doon sa sarili niyang bahay, but nag-rent lang siya. Mukhang nag-relax na lang siya, hindi na nagtrabaho, hindi man lang nilagak ng salapi sa mga paraan na kumikita. Ang mas masama, siya ay naggasta ng malaki sa bahay na inupahan niya lamang. Sana ay bumili o nagpagawa siya ng bahay na talagang sa kanya. Yes, nangyayari talaga yon. At hindi lang kay PG palagi na nangyayari dito, kundi kahit sa ating mga OFW din, no? Ang daming dating mga kababayan OFW na talagang grabe sila mag-spend, bumili ng mga appliance, mga furniture. Hindi sila naniwala sa long-term investment. Hindi sila nag-set aside ng kanilang hard-earned money. Kasi pag tayo nag-aaral ng economics, mayroon tinatawag na may hangganan ang lahat ng ito. Mayroon tinatawag na diminishing factor. Ang buhay kasi ng tao, ang ating productivity, no? We started from age 20 to 45. Yun ang level ng productivity pa rin natin. Kumikita tayo ng ganyan. Tapos parating natin ng 45 to 60, yun ang tinatawag na nag-accumulate ng wealth. Doon na nagkakaroon ng tinatawag na passive income. Yung simula ng 18 o to 45 years of age natin, yung iba ang tawag doon active. Doon pa lang yung grabe yung pag kumikita tayo ng pera, ang pagpupunyagan natin, double time tayo, nagtatrabaho tayo ng tatlo-tatlong mga company. So this is an active. Pero if you have a knowledge of financial planning, dapat yung hard-earned money natin, a certain portion doon, ilalagay mo yun sa investment. Para pagdating mo ng 45 to 60, you have a passive income. Ang tawag doon, let your money work for you. Actually, it's not too late. Huh? May mga kilala nga ako na palagi ko sinasabi sa nila na ang edad mo ay 30 years of age pa lang. Kaya pa yan. Yung iba nga kilala ko, nagsimula sa kanilang negosyo nila at age 50. At din, after 10 years, naging millionaire na rin sila. Because they have a knowledge in financial planning. Now you may ask, how did he end up losing all that money that he worked so hard to earn? In such a short span of time, he bet all odds to earn that kind of money. Why did he not work as hard to keep it? Isa din siya sinasabi dito ng mga financial consultant, mga nababasa natin sa libro. Yung iba kasi, kumikita kasi ng may purpose. Basta sinabi lang nila na kailangan yumaman ako, ganito, ganyan. But, wala siyang specific purpose kung paano niya palaguin yung pera niya. So, papasok pa rin dito yung ating kaalaman, yung knowledge natin how to invest our money properly. This is the same questions I repeatedly asked myself after I realized that, like PG, most of other successful marketers were also probably losing money. They used to only dream of having. Yan, sinasabi niya. Parang gusto lang magkaroon ng maraming pera. Okay? I realized soon enough that they did not know how to handle their personal finances. While of them were driven by desire to earn money. It became evident that most, if not all, of them had no real understanding of how to keep and manage money, except for a very select few, and not a single one actually had a clear and specific idea on how much he or she wanted to earn and for what specific purpose. They simply wanted to earn more. Yan. Kasi kailangan natin na kapag tayo kumikita ng pera, alam natin yung purpose natin. At alam natin kung saan natin ilalagak ang hard-earned money natin. Kasi yung iba, dito sinasabi dito, na talagang kumikita sila ng pera, it's because dahil lang sa gusto lang kumita. Medyo malawak ang usapin nito bilang, kasi alam nyo, guys, hindi ba nakikinig sa akin, ang pera pag inipon na natin without investing in a right vehicle, papasok dito yung tinatawag nating inflation. If you have money, I'll give you an example. If you have 10,000 10 years ago at hindi mo nilagak sa tamang vehicle o sa tamang investment at nilagay mo lang sa isang tabi, yung 10,000 mo noon, napakalaking value yon. Ang 10,000 mo yung 10 years, for example, yung, ulitin natin. For example, if you have 100,000 10 years ago, 10 years ago, pwede ka bumili ng isang bahay na row house, 100,000, 10 years ago. Pero ngayon, after 10 years, yung 100,000 mo, hindi ka makabili ng isang row house na bahay. Pero kung binili mo ang 100,000 mo 10 years ago sa hard-earned money mo na 100,000, yung 100,000 na binili mong house and lot, it could be a price of 1 million. Marami akong ganyang experience na nakikita ko ng ganyan na they started only bumili ng property 15 years ago, ng halaga ng property is 120,000. After 10 years, naibenta niya ng 2 million. Imagine. Kung wala kang ganong plano, kumikita ng milyon-milyon, tapos wala kang plano sa buhay mo, hindi mo ini-invest ng tama, darating ang punto ng lahat ng milyon sa kinita mo, babalik ka ulit sa zero. Ang karamihan ay hindi marunong magkwenta at mamahala ng kanilang pera. Ang gusto lang ay kumita ng kumita. Hindi natin binibigyan ng kaukulang pansin ang pagpaplano ng kinikita. While observing them, I noticed a particularly common behavior. Most of them had an automatic change in lifestyle as soon as they got the first big paycheck. Talagang ganoon naman talaga. Marami talagang ganyan na kapag biglang kumita ng pera, nagbabago yung lifestyle nila. Ang tawag dito, instant gratification is the culprit. I remember one of my napakagaling boss, talagang nagsimula talaga sa siya. Ngayon, multimillionaire na rin siya. Ang tawag doon ay postponement of self-gratification. Kung kumita, palaging sinasabi dati sa amin na kapag kumita ka ng millions of thousands of pesos, ang laki na ng salary mo, na bigla na-promote ka, huwag bigla naman kaagad na gastusin mo yung pera mo. I-postpone mo muna yung mga kagustuhan na hindi naman kailangan. Kumbaga, kunti-kunti lang yung pagbabago ng lifestyle. Maaring yung ibang kinikita mo, i-invest mo muna kasi hindi pa naman ganun ka-stable talaga. Sayang kasi yung millions na kinikita natin. Kaya ang palagi sinasabi niya doon ay postponement of self-gratification. At marami din ako talaga nakilala lang tao na ganyan na isa sang karaniwang guro. Kumikita siya ang sweldo niya nung panahon na yun ay 2,000, 3,000. Pero nung nabigyan siya ng pagkakataon na nakapag part-time job siya, kumikita siya ng 7,000. Ang ginawa niya dun sa kanyang pera na income, ay ininvest niya. This is a true story. Binili niya ng property, bumili siya ng bahay. That was mga 1979. Ang cost lang is 120,000. Do you know guys, after 10 years na ipagbili niya ng 1.3 million. First time niya nakahawak ng milyon. So, sinunod niya yung payo ng mga ibang financial coach niya na isatabi muna yung karanyaan. Huwag naman, siyempre hindi naman pwede natin sabihin na kalimutan natin yung magbigay tayo ng gift sa sarili natin. Pero, ito yung nangyari kay Peggy. Nung bigla sa kumita ng 15 million, binili kagad ng Pajero, bumili siya ng mga furniture, nag-invest siya, parang nag-relax na lang siya. So, nawala yung 15 million. Imagine, in mga 2,000 na yon, may 15 million siya, pwede na sa bumili ng ilang hektarya na lupa. At marami tayong mga kilalang na successful na halipugtang si Manny Villar. Kung gusto niyo basahin yung biography ni Manny Villar, nagsimula na siya magtinda ng isda. Nung nag-graduate siya ng college, nagtrabaho sa Makati, nagtitinda siya ng mga tutong pagkain doon sa mga office mates niya. Hanggang sa na-discover niya yung pagiging agent ng real estate. Yun, it's an open book for him. And now, sino ba ngayon si Manny Villar? So guys, dito tayo nagtatapos ngayon sa chapter 1. Okay? Pero sinasabi dito na mukhang lahat ng tayo ay natutok sa madali ang ganipala. Yan, sabi ni Francisco Colaico. They also made investment, or at least what they thought they were investment. They also made investment, or at least what they thought were investment. Ang alam nila, investment yung maggastos nila ng salapi nila. Alam nila, na pag bumili sila ng mga sasakyan, investment yon, without fully considering the attendant. They took no effort to understand how those investments would impact on their financial future. They had no real appreciation of what they were risking versus the potential gains they were promised. All of them simply believed that the promised financial gains were going to happen without knowing or understanding how those gains or profits were going to be made. Madali silang maniwala na sila ay magiging mas mayaman kahit hindi nila naintindihan kung ano-ano ang mga sapalaran at pangarip na dala ng kanilang pamumuhunan. With the way they were spending their money, it was as if their money were coming from bottomless well that would never run dry. Gumagasta sila ng parang walang katapusan ang pagdating ng pera. This observation seems applicable to most employees, especially overseas Filipino workers. It was certainly not their intention to lose their money. They were just unprepared for their sudden abundance. They had no real appreciation of, much less preparation for money management. The collective experience of these marketers proves that there are many challenges and difficulties to earning money as if giving it. Magkasing hirap ang magtatrabaho at kumita ng pera at ang pangalagaan at palaguin ang pirang kinikitan niya. Okay, ulitin natin. Magkasing hirap ang magtatrabaho at kumita ng pera at pangalagaan at palaguin ang pirang kinikita niya. Because Peggy and other marketers look up to me as a mentor, so I eventually found myself dispensing personal financial advice. I did what I could to help them because I didn't want to see them success and then lose everything, just like Peggy. As a happy ending, Peggy has gotten back on his feet and is on his way to increasing his income and building real assets this time. This time he assured me that he is applying the rules that I have taught them and that are discussed in the following pages. Na kakatuwa na si Peggy ay hindi nawala ng pag-asa at siya ay hindi nasiraan ng loob at ngayon ay unti-unti niyang bumabangon at nangako siya makikinig siya sa tama at mabuting payo. Actually, yung libro ni Francisco Colaico, you can still available this in National Bookstore. So, chapter 1 muna tayo guys. Okay, sa sunod na mga aral, pupunta tayo sa chapter 2 at maaring abangan nyo yung aking mga discussion kasi maaring ako mag-share ako sa inyo ng mga tips, ano ba ang mga strategies, how to save money kahit na konti lang ang ating kinikita. How to, kasi may kasabihan tayo dito na it's not what you earn, but it's how much you save. Hindi dito pinag-usapan na gaano kalaki ang kinikita ko. Pero magkano ba ang nagsisave natin sa kinikita natin? Okay guys, thank you very much. Kung sino man nakikinig sa akin, thank you. And ito yung aking gagawin ngayon. It's my activity. Magbabasa ako ng mga libro at mag-share ko sa inyo ng aking karanasan at sa aking mga na-interview na tao kung paano sila lumago at bumangon muli mula sa kanilang kahirapan at yumaman muli. Thank you and God bless.